and you need help, you must call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports here on a Monday afternoon in Las Vegas. We're on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. My name's Frank Perez. I'm going to be joined today with my co-host, Oklahoma Brian. And if you're watching, I know you probably can't see this on radio, but if you're watching online, you see a big smile on my face. And probably when we turn it on to Brian, you're gonna know why that. Brian, I heard they told me that they spotted you by a battery store today. You were next to one of those battery stores, and they asked you, what kind of batteries you were buying, and you said it's one for your money machine counter. Is that true?
Well, I don't know. I'm just digging myself out of the hole from the previous week. I was 0-4-1 the previous week, so I did what I think you're supposed to do when you go 0-4-1. I went 4-0-1 this week, so that was nice. And season win totals are my season total now. I think I'm 3 over 500. So
you're doing.
That was good to get the monkey off my back. Yeah.
But yeah, you're what 8? What you got? You went in with 4 wins. You got 4, so you're 8. 5.
I believe I would be
8-5-2.
That's right. Yeah.
8-5-2. But really, and I got to hand it to you. I mean, I know we're in a challenge and the whole deal, and the guys are betting on us or against us. But between you and I'm really rooting for both of us to do really good. Like, it'd be nice if one of us beat the other one by going 65% against 64%. But
as long as I'm the 65%, I'll go with that.
Yeah, but it's early, brother. It's early. You got a small lead. But what I was going to say is, realistically, for betting purposes, you really went 5-0 because that Hawaii game, there was 6s and 6.5s available all week. You know that.
Yeah. I thought I was laying 6.5 when I gave the selection. I found out the game had gone to 7, and I went ahead and just kept it. But for contest purposes, you went 4-0-1. Okay, that was a nice week. Congratulations. Got to hand it to you. And Billy, Billy round robined against me, and I just seen a picture of Billy on the side of a milk carton saying, have you seen Billy and his bankroll? And I said, hasn't been spotted. But you know what? We're getting ready for a break. We got a great show. We're going to recap the NFL. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Get ready. We got a great show for you today, folks. Fifth Street Sports.
All right, you're clear.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
We're back. Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. You can also find us on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, at Twitter at Fifth Street Sports, on the web at FifthStreetSports.com. Brian, with this segment over here, it's named the NFL Weekly Recap and we both got that chirping smile on our face. I'm going to let you. We had such a good week. I tell you, this morning when I woke up, if I had a ladder big enough, I was trying to get on top of my roof just to give myself a round of applause. But I couldn't get up there, and I was scared I was going to fall down. But But I did give you a round of applause, even though you weren't there. I want you to share with us what you think were your highlights of your NFL and college football week.
Okay, well, let's start with the NFL because it's more recent in my memory of the NFL. It's a little closer. Exciting week in the NFL. I think that a lot of my hunches going into this year turned out to be right. I was wrong about a few things. Got to give credit to your Oakland Raiders, even though they're 0-2. I do think this is going to be a competitive team. I don't think they know how to win yet, but I was impressed this week, and certainly in the first half of the first week, I thought they were a lot more competitive than I thought they'd be. The Patriots-Jacksonville game was an all-in game for a lot of us, and was happy to see that come through for a variety of reasons. A lot of sharp money came in the last second on New England. I can't say I wasn't a little bit worried. That was nice. New York Giants. That might have been one of the luckiest wins I've ever had. We had a lot of teasers this week, long teasers that wrapped up with the Giants as the last leg. Giants +9, which is technically kind of on the outside margins of what we would consider to be a Wong teaser. We'll talk about Wongs a lot on this show, but basically we're really at the outer limits of taking dogs. We're looking to take dogs up to about 2.5 to 8.5. In the case of the Giants, we teased them up from 3 to 9, and we needed that game really bad. They were losing 20-3 with like 2 minutes left in the game, and scored a touchdown, got an onside kick, and then kicked the meaningless field goal to cover the teaser. That was one of the great moments in gambling history for me last night. Really enjoyed that. Those are just a few thoughts. How about you?
No, that was sweet. I seen that. When I noticed how much money was coming in on New England, I kind of wasn't, for some reason, it didn't rattle me at all. You were so on this Jacksonville, and we took 2 on them early, and we were never in doubt. But the other game now the Raiders, if you've noticed, the Raiders have won both first halves. So like you said, they're a good competitive team. They don't know how to win yet. So I may be shifting towards them just a little bit more towards first half betting on them.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess you could say the same thing about the Cleveland Browns. There's another team that's a very good team, but doesn't quite know how to win. Here's a team that should be 2-0, and for a variety of reasons, just really the kicking is really the main reason. They had a legitimate kicking game. They could easily have won the last 2 weeks. I understand they probably have already waived the kicker by now. I know that was the thought this morning, was that he would be waived. And so we'll see what happens with them. They get a short week this week. They get the Jets. That's a game that we won't be able to use in the contest, so I'll just come out and tell you right now, I really like Cleveland. I think the line's a little high. It's 3.5. It was 3 overnight last night, but short week really does tend to favor the home team, and Thursday night games typically don't land on the number. I think you can be a little undisciplined and lean, slightly higher numbers, even though the totals are historically lower on Thursday nights. But I like this Cleveland team on Thursday night versus the Jets. I almost feel like we're getting robbed, though, not getting to see Baker and Sam Darnold go head-to-head, but no reason for Cleveland to make a quarterback change at this point.
Boy, that's interesting. You talk about that because because we wanted to do a little thing that after 2 weeks, right now, if we were we're not going to use a pen, we're going to use a pencil to see like which teams we right now we think are for real, like the pretenders or the real deal. And I got to tell you, if they were baseball cards right now, like your Pittsburgh Steelers would have been like Mickey Mantle's, okay, and then the Miami Dolphins would have been like Buddy Biancalana's. But right now, I think I'd rather have the Buddy Biancalana card than the Mickey Mantle. How about you?
Boy, I couldn't agree more. That's another team that a lot of us faded this year was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, yeah. And I got a really nice price on the Steelers not to win their division. I got plus 220 on the Steelers to not win the division. Wow, so that was nice. And this is a trap game for a lot of squares now. Moving into week 3, a lot of squares have the mentality that the Steelers have to win this game, right? Because they're 0-2, their backs are against the wall, have to win the game. I got news for you. That's usually when you hear a team has to win a game, that's usually one of the worst things you can hear if you're a fan of that team, because it doesn't always go that way. They're playing a Tampa team that's playing out of their minds right now. Line right now is 2.5. I think this is a phenomenal teaser spot, taking Tampa plus the 8 on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, 8 because it doesn't make sense. Now here's Pittsburgh; they got a win and a tie, and the tie was against Cleveland. Now and then here's Tampa that just beat Philadelphia and New Orleans. So Tampa Bay Monday night at home. What do? You give them 2.5 points? Come on, brother.
Yeah. I think it's silly. Now, one thing I love about Pittsburgh Steelers when they're not playing well, if you bet live betting and you see the Steelers fall behind, like in this game this weekend, they were down 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Boy, one of the best interactive live bets you can make is betting Steelers when they fall behind, because they completely abandon the running game. They love to go into that no huddle offense. We saw it in the playoffs also with Jacksonville. Those aren't the only times you see it over and over again, but those are the last two like really great examples of this. Steelers love to kind of panic, go into the no huddle, and just start chucking it downfield with every possession. They create points, but they also create a lot of turnovers, and that's a phenomenal opportunity. So if you see that happen on Monday night, if somehow Tampa jumps up, 7-0, 10-0, 14-0 on Pittsburgh, be looking for the interactive over. Really, really strong bet.
Man, you know what? And here's another kudos to you. I was watching this Jacksonville game, and you were like, at the beginning of the season, remember when we were with our audience, we were sharing a lot of we thought were going to be highlights and lowlights. One of your main things that you emphasized on, I think you used it for 3 shows, was fading the New England Patriots and that the team's too old with Brady and stuff. You were like Nostradamus. I was watching Brady getting thrown around, and it's almost like you were prophetic in the fact that you don't think he's going to make the year, huh?
Father Time is brutal, and the reality is, I don't care how many, spinach milkshakes or, quail cakes he eats, or whatever, that,
Right.
wife of his is feeding him. 41 years old is 41 years old, and I will be impressed if he makes it through the year without a significant injury. So
Wow.
I also played the Dolphins at 12-1 to win the division.
Oh, I
Well,
know
it's a little
you.
too early. Too early to be celebrating that, but I like the play at this point.
No, I love it. And then, but I particularly like your Steelers fading them to not win a division because you got two good teams that can get it home for you, the Cincinnati and Baltimore. You're in great shape.
I would argue three good teams. I think Cleveland's a really good team, despite the 0-1-1 record. I think they're a team that should be 2-0.
Man, is that interesting? When we come back, we'll recap a little bit more of the NFL because we still want to go through about 3 or 4 more scenarios and games, and then we're gonna throw out there a very interesting question. We'll be back in 3 minutes. This is Oklahoma Brian and Frank Perez coming back to you from 5th Street Sports.
All right, you're clear. Levels are good.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Bettor Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients...
All right, guys, hard AFN break on the other side of this one.
You funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more...
That would be the American Forces Network.
The funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome back to 5th Street Sports on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. You know, folks, we also want to say a nice hello to everybody out there, to our Armed Forces Radio, to the men and women that are listening to us out there. I hope you enjoy the show. We're trying to make it as entertaining as we can. We have Oklahoma Brian, myself, Frank Perez. We're also on Facebook.com// Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Brian, it's I got such a smile on my face because one thing I really wanted to do in this segment is I want to recap for all of our in-house guys that we have. Rockford, AWB, that's America's Worst Bettor, yourself, me, all of our selections to see how we did for the week. Rockford went 3-1. That's very good. AWB, actually, you said he actually had a great week. He went 2-2 for himself, right?
Frank, that's a great week for him.
Okay. You obviously went 4-0-1. I went 3-2. And I wanted to just say to, all of our audience and listeners, don't discount the way that we bring this in. We bet serious money on these. These are really, really strong picks. There's 5 of us guys. That's why it's Fifth Street Sports. We got our heart into it. We're giving you out the best stuff. We're trying to make it as entertaining as possible. But don't discount the fact that these are superior plays that the 5 of us from the streets, remember, we grew up on the streets of betting. We weren't in suit and ties throwing. We're not guys in suit and ties throwing you out a bunch of picks, like this. We're 5 guys that we've gone through the asphalt jungle and through the cyber jungle. So don't disregard that these plays are not good.
How about the North Texas Screaming Eagles money line play this week? Huh?
Loved it.
Wasn't even a close game. They won easy and. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get a lot of other kind of national TV games this year, but I really like their quarterback, Mason Fine, as a under the radar Heisman candidate this year.
Now, what do you say? He's a junior, and you say he's got like a chip on his shoulder because some of the other schools didn't grab him?
Yeah, so he was arguably the best quarterback in high school. I played at a small town called Locust Grove, Oklahoma. And everyone knew who the kid was in high school, but he was 5'10", 160 pounds, and he just wasn't recruited by a lot of schools. In fact, I think North Texas might have been his only real offer. So he gets turned down by, Arkansas is a 2-hour drive for him, and he would have loved to go to Arkansas. Doesn't get any interest, so he goes to Fayetteville this week, and look what he does to them.
Wow! So
absolute beatdown.
So he's playing like that pissed off kid, like at Disneyland that they won't let him get on the rides because he's not tall enough. And now this year he's tall enough and he's getting on every ride, right?
Yeah, except for he's the same height. But he'll be a great CFL quarterback someday.
No, why? You don't think he's pro material?
He could be. It's just tough at that height. 5'10". You see, he's like a Doug Flutie type, and for every Doug Flutie that makes it, there's a lot of Doug Fluties that don't. But I'm rooting for the kid. I'd love to see him make it in the NFL. He's just an absolutely great kid. Hey, speaking of slightly undersized, he's not that undersized quarterbacks, but your Pat Mahomes future, you got to be liking that right now. What do you have him to throw the most TDs or to have the most yards?
To have the most yards, but I hooked him up with his wide receiver. To have the most yards. So I might get the daily double there. Remember, I got that from Ron, who came on the show.
I remember that. Yeah. I love the play. You know what this reminds me of? It's early. We're only 2 weeks into this season. But do you remember back in about 2003 when the Rams finally, so they had kind of the preview the year before with Trent Green, but I think it was 2003 that Trent Green went down in the preseason and Kurt Warner steps in. And they weren't a really highly regarded team in terms of point spreads, but they went on the most unbelievable run. And it's one of the biggest runs. I mean, relatively speaking, I was a young guy, had a small bankroll, but I bet the Rams every week in 2003. And it was just so easy. They completely reinvented the game.
Yeah,
it's early with the Chiefs, but boy, this is scary. That offense seems like it's unstoppable, and I wonder what their limit is offensively.
Yeah, I always. Oh my, folks, we got breaking news right now. Breaking news coming in from AWB, and it's from it's from America's Worst Bettor. He is on game 332, Florida State -10. Boy, this guy's already chomping at the bit, Brian. He's shipping it in on Florida State -10.
I'm speechless, frankly. Does this guy hate money, Frank?
He does. You know, that book I'm writing, How I Turned $1 Million into 5,000. I'm gonna put him in like 2 different chapters. This guy, I mean, boy, it's early Monday. He doesn't usually come in this early, right?
I guess he thinks there's value. Like, he doesn't want that 10 to get away. I guess in his mind, this game's going to, 12 or 14. He wants to get it on the ground floor, Florida State.
Hey, we just got this, and it's breaking news. So he laid 10 with Florida State. Brian, but you were doing a little work on this game. What do you think about that against this Northern Illinois club?
I mean, I don't see how anybody would play Florida State. That sounds like a completely crazy pick. I mean, they can't block anyone. They look like they don't even hold practice. Like I said, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm glad. The one positive thing I can say is that Burt Reynolds doesn't have to witness this Florida State debacle. This is
wow.
Painful for a Florida State fan to watch. But good luck to him.
Oh, me too. Just before America's Worst Bettor came in, we were talking about, you were saying, the Doug Flutie and the little guys and Curtin Warner with the Rams. I always, because I played professional sports, I was a highlight player. I always consider those guys, they were like my eye of the tiger kind of Rocky guys. And I'll never forget, what the greatest example of that ever was? There was a first baseman for the New York Yankees. His name was Wally Pipp. Okay, he's pretty good. His name was Wally Pipp. So
sure.
One day,
I know who he is.
Yeah, one day he goes to the coach and he says he's got a headache, and can he take the day off? So who came in to replace him? Some schmuck on the bench named Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse. What's funny. So I guess I was not unlike a lot of boys in elementary school. I hated to read books. And every year we had to do a biography, or read a book. I remember one year I did Lou Gehrig. I watched The Pride of the Yankees instead of actually reading the entire biography of Lou Gehrig. And I was able to parlay that into doing a Babe Ruth biography the next year. And then I think the next year I did a report on the 27 Yankees. I managed to get 3 years of my elementary school main term paper out of the Yankees. So, yeah, I remember the name Wally Pitt.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I remember
funny.
that. Speaking now, those are guys with heart and coming in and everything. Now, we put together in here, Brian, we wanted you to share 2 teams that we believe have no shot and no heart. We were actually coming up with the line, Arizona Cardinals and the Buffalo Bills after 2 games. If right now we put up a line on total wins for both of these teams combined at 3.5 under -130, what would you do with that?
Oh, combined. Okay, I didn't realize it was combined. Well, this it's the wrong bet mathematically, but I would bet under because I don't see either one of these teams being even close. I know the last few years, the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, they would lose every game, but if you follow professional football, the Browns were constantly in games. They were always a hard luck story. You'd think they were going to win a game, and then they would find a way to screw it away at the end.
Right.
I can't see either one of these teams being close. I mean, on paper, the Bills only lost by 11, but give me a break. They scored a point. They scored a touchdown with 31 seconds left. That wasn't really reflective of the final score. Let me ask you a question, Frank. If these 2 teams were to play heads up right now, Arizona and Buffalo, at a neutral site, I can't imagine where they would play. Let's say they play in Cleveland. That's a little bit closer to Buffalo, but make a point spread on Arizona versus Buffalo. Who's better?
Well, to be right up front with you, I don't think it matters where they would play if they played in Buffalo or in Arizona. I make that game pick at both locations. You pick.
I would give the nod to Buffalo. I think Buffalo's about a 2-point favorite right now. It would be a low total though. I can't see that total being being above 40. It's probably 38, 39, which is, that's like 36 for last year. That's a brutal game. Speaking of, so let's agree. Well, you think they're about equal. I'm going to say Arizona's worse. They're pretty close, but I got one for you, Frank. This question has come up over the last 20 years. This is kind of a popular question. I haven't seen anybody raise it this year, but let me give you a hypothetical. What if this year's Alabama were to play Arizona? Could they beat them?
Alabama against Arizona? Well, we got about 40 seconds, but I'm gonna give you my take, and then when you come back, you give me your take.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you think about it over the break? Because I think
Alabama this year's Alabama.
Put a lot of thought into this.
Arizona.
I think it's a harder question than it has been most years.
Interesting, because we're actually looking at something historical. Two teams in the same season that may go winless. You know that.
Yeah, and this Alabama team might be the best college team in our lifetime.
Wow.
So,
hold that thought, Brian. I'm going to do a little research on how bad is bad. We'll be back in 3 minutes. This is Frank and Oklahoma Brian from 5th Street Sports.
Listen to what Chris said about Andro 400.
I've lost almost 40 pounds in 10 weeks. My son was getting married, and when I went for the suit fitting, I was a size 48. And when I went back to do the final fitting, I was a 44. I have more energy, that's for sure. I probably lost 4 inches around my belly. I'm 57, and I'm back when I was in my 30s.
Here's what Dwayne said about Andro 400.
This product really works. I'm an old guy and I don't trust nobody. And I've tried all kinds of stuff. It's one of the few things I've ever bought that works. I couldn't believe it. I feel better. I have more energy. I walk 12 miles a day. I feel great. It changed my life. It really has. It's really incredible.
Guys, if you'd like to lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel great, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435, 888-400-0435, andro400.com.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Welcome back to 5th Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez with my co-host Oklahoma Brian. You can find us on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio. And also, I want to say one more time to the Armed Forces Network radio out that's listening to us. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all you do for us. You give us the ability to have and the opportunity to live in a country as good as this one. We appreciate everything you do for us. Brian, you threw out a question for me. And I know I'm going to be a little bit more fine-tuned than you on this one. The question was, this Arizona team that you believe is so horrible, what would the line be against this Alabama team that you think is so good in college? I thought about it over the break. I'm going to make Arizona minus 24.5.
Wow. I wish we could actually bet this. They could really play this game. We'll never know. But I believe this is the lowest point spread we'll ever see between a college and an NFL team. I think this is the worst NFL team in many years. And this Alabama team, I don't think they're going to have a close game. Here's Alabama's winning consistently by 50, 60 points every week. They get Texas A&M this week. That'll be relatively close game. They're only a 27-point favorite. And then they get to play Louisiana, Texas. They play Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee. There's no close game there. They go to Baton Rouge on the 3rd of November. Then they come back with Mississippi State, Citadel, and then they play the Iron Bowl before. Obviously, I'm assuming they'll get Georgia. This reminds me of the '95 Nebraska team where there was never a close game at any point during the year. Only I think this team's substantially better. I know this question comes up every so often, and people can disagree on this, but typically the point spread you see is somewhere between 17 and 28, depending on how good the college team is and how bad the worst NFL team is. But I think we've pushed it. This is the all-time. This is going to be one of the all-time great college teams and one of the all-time worst NFL teams. I'm going to make my line, and you're going to think I've lost my mind, but I'm going to make it Arizona Cardinals 8.5. And if I had to pick a side to save my life, I'm not sure I wouldn't pick Alabama. That's how good I think Alabama is.
See, that's why, you've never played pro sports. I played professional highline, not chirping, but I won the 78 singles title in Reno, Nevada, in 10th game singles championship. I remember there was an amateur 16-year-old that used to, he was really up and coming. The amateurs used to play on Saturday mornings. And this kid, he had all the right stuff. He had the right form. He was destroying the other amateurs. And the player's manager said to me, hey, we got this amateur named Ben, and he's really, really looking good. In fact, sometimes he's getting so good, he's chirping with the amateurs that he could challenge, you in a singles match. I said, well, we didn't play till nighttime. I said, tell him I'll be out there on the court. He was so excited, wanting to play against me on Saturday morning. So we teed off. All the amateurs were watching and everything. I won 15-0. Okay, and he was a really good up and coming amateur. There's such a difference. He was crushing the other amateurs, just like Alabama's crushing the other teams. But it's everybody always thinks what they're doing. It's who you're playing against. You know what I mean? The Arizona's playing against NFL players, and they're looking terrible. Alabama's looking good against, guys from Citadel and guys from these other colleges. They might have, they got like the redheaded kid playing linebacker for this team. Forget about it. I would lay you 24.5. Okay, you're 8.5. I don't think I could get down. I actually think I would go into my niece's trust fund. And I do. I have a niece with special needs. I would go into her trust fund and ship it minus. That's how strong I feel. I would ship it minus 8.5.
Wow, this has to be one of the low moments in radio. But time out for a second. First, before I tell you how wrong you are, I have to know what happened to Ben. Did he never make it to the pros? Did you crush his psyche or what?
No. And I didn't do it mean or nothing. It's just I was hearing a lot of chit chat in between and it was getting through the stuff. And I would go out there sometimes Saturdays. I was in the stadium and just to watch the kids. Oh, this kid's got good form, but the speed from amateur to pro is the same speed in football from amateur to pro. I didn't crush his dreams. He actually turned pro. He played in Vegas 1 year and then he didn't get re-signed. He played for minimum. I think it was like $23,000. He played in
79 or 80 in Vegas. 80 in Vegas, and he lasted 1 year. But I didn't do nothing to him. I just said, let's play, Ben. I said, now you're going to see what the speed is, what the difference is in playing pro. And it was like, forget it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my.
I'm not done with this point, by the way.
Oh, no, we'll be back. Wait a second, guys. We got Rockford in the house. Rockford's coming in the house. Okay, you guys, the Rockford Files is in. He's got game 314, Marshall plus 6.5. We're going to go through these one at a time because, Rockford always brings in a little bit of what I would say data and on games, which we should be doing, but we never really have enough time, so we just gave you winners. Marshall plus 6.5. This is what he sent in on this one, Brian. He says both teams are 2-0. Marshall is 6-0 in in the last 6 games. They're 6-0 versus ACC teams. He's going to take them at home plus 6.5. Then I'll give you his other game, and you tell me if you can come up with a little bit on this. His other game is game 338, Georgia Tech plus 17 versus Clemson. And he only sent me one thing. He said Clemson has lost 5 out of the last 6 times that they've played in Georgia Tech. He thinks 17 is way too high, so we're going to document Rockford with Marshall plus 6.5 and Georgia Tech plus 17. Before we get back to our Arizona thing, what do you comment on these Rockford plays? Because people are betting these, so they'd love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. If I'm betting Georgia Tech, I wish this game was just a couple games later in the season, because I know that Clemson has that they know that they're in the playoffs if they win out. And I don't think they need to impress anyone. I have to go back and look at Clemson's record versus option teams. You say that they haven't done well in Atlanta. I don't know. I'll trust Rockford until, like I said, I don't know who Rockford is. I'm impressed. He's winning. I know better than to go against this guy. I might even steal this play on Friday if I like it. Rockford.
No, I always play Rockford stuff. We all do. He's part of the team here, and he gives us the stuff. But we don't really know who he is. Some people say some guy said they think they spotted him in a Connecticut mall. He was in a mall.
For all we know, he's your imaginary friend. We don't even know that he exists.
No. He exists. There was a Rockford sighting. Some guy said they think they saw somebody that with the same kind of voice, the same kind of style and voice. But he was in a mall in Connecticut. So. That's all.
Connecticut. That's interesting.
But getting back to this Arizona versus Alabama topic, Brian, you have no idea. 8.5, you're absolutely crazy. Have you ever played a couple guys playing chess? So when you see like one guy that's superior and he's playing somebody real easy, he steamrolls it. All of a sudden he gets an opponent that's good, that's giving him back a little bit of friction. A lot different, brother. A lot different.
Let me give you some numbers on Alabama. So as of last week, there's 44 former Alabama players on active NFL rosters. That's the most of any team.
Wow.
There's 58 Alabama players if you consider practice squads in the NFL. It's an amazing number, like nothing we've ever seen in our lifetime. And that was previous Alabama teams. This is the greatest Alabama team ever. I can only imagine what those numbers will look like after this year. I fully expect all 22 starters on this Alabama team to play some form of pro football, whether it's the NFL, CFL. I don't know any other football leagues, but
here
I really think this is and look at this Arizona team. Arizona is the oldest team in football, right? The average age, which makes no sense. I don't understand how you can go into a rebuilding year and decide you want to have the oldest team in football, but essentially, I think we're looking at guys who are about to be NFL players who are 21 years old versus a bunch of mediocre NFL players that are 27 years old. I get it. They lift weights every day. They train better. They have better facilities in the NFL. But, man, I would take my chances. I know it sounds crazy. I've never, ever thought that there's been a college team that could be competitive with an NFL team. I think this is the year.
Well, don't bet no Fifth Street money on that, because let me tell you something. let me tell you something. If they played each other, I would bet every prop. First of all, after, because Alabama's going to get down early, okay? And after they get down and they got to pass, this is the props that I would bet. Over 14.5 sacks for Alabama. I would have Larry Fitzgerald, 4 touchdowns, over 3.5 touchdowns and over 225 yards. I would have Alabama with negative passing yards for the game. Negative passing yards for the game.
Negative.
And if they rushed, and they would have under 50 yards rushing. That's how you don't know the difference because you haven't played amateur to pro. It's unbelievable, the schemes, and when you turn the speed, the weight, everything, the pros versus the college. I would actually say to you, barring a fluke, the over and under team total for Alabama, I would make it 1.5. Only because there could be a fumble in the end zone and they might get a lucky safety. You know what I mean?
You're so wrong.
1.5.
What about Alabama versus Montreal in the CFL? Do you acknowledge that Alabama could win that game?
Gosh,
it's a professional team.
I'm not too familiar with the CFL, but they are professional. I don't think.
Well,
I'm not sure about that.
Professional with an asterisk. There's a limited amount of imports that can play on each team. So the teams are, for the most part, comprised of Canadian players who played a college football that's quite a bit beneath American college football. So it wouldn't be close. Alabama would beat Montreal by probably 3 touchdowns.
Well, see, like maybe that you're more familiar with the CFL, but I would tell you, like, the only sport where I would say a team versus another team, where you would say like AAA baseball would be like college football, right? Compared to major leagues, right?
I would say that no. I would say that SEC baseball would be the closest thing to AAA baseball. The rest of college baseball would be like single or double A.
No,
for the most part.
I mean, like the comparison. Like, if I said to you, there's a good AAA baseball team, can they challenge the Baltimore Orioles?
Of course not. Right.
Okay. No, but baseball's a little bit different.
But any one given day, yeah, right.
Not any given day. Alabama would never win against Arizona. Never. Okay. But what I'm saying about AAA versus the other one is, in that AAA team, they could have like a kid that's coming up like a Pedro Martinez, just one pitcher that's lights out. He could dominate the game by himself, and they could win 1-0.
Sure, and we see that in the College World Series playoffs. You always have a obscure team out of nowhere, and they win their first game in the College World Series playoffs. Not the College World Series, but the college baseball playoffs. Sure, one stud pitcher can for sure.
Right.
But
hold that thought, buddy.
Okay.
We when we come back, you can share it with us. We'll be right back. Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez, 5th Street Sports.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
We're back. 5th Street Sports. Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian. We're on SB Nation Sports Radio Network. Brian, we're back. Boy, the hour flew by. Man, we were just getting into it with this Arizona really quick. We only got a couple minutes, and I know that there's a lot of people want to hear your take and maybe my take on this Monday night game today. It's the Bears 4.5 now?
Yeah. Okay, so we know. I think you know where I stand on the Seattle Seahawks. I'm fading them every game this year. I think they're grossly overrated, and the public has it wrong for now on Seattle. I like the Bears. I do think this number's a little bit high. It's kind of frustrating, but if I have to bet this game, I would lean Bears, and I would lean under.
So you would lay the 4.5 with the Bears, huh?
I'll tell you this: I wouldn't take 4.5 on Seattle. I don't think it's a great spot at this point. It was a soft 3.5 when it opened. I liked the Bears, buying down to say 3.25 right now. Yeah, I'd still lean towards the Bears, but it's not an overly strong play.
Wow, you know what? Just because you said that, I was liking Seattle, but right now I recognize that you're on a heater, or you're in the midst of a heater, and you're I think for the next 2 or 3 weeks you're going to be like getting to, like, no pun intended, like to the eye of the storm, because I believe I can recognize in gambling when somebody's hitting their stride, they're clear and they're on a heater. So because you said that, I'm going to back off of as a matter of fact, I'm not going to bet Seattle now. I'm going to shy away. I recognize I don't have no pride or nothing. I don't have no pride. I recognize a heater when I see it, but when you're on a cooler, I go the other way. And same with me. You know what I mean? I know there's some days that I'm terrible. Wow, yeah. It's been a great show. You know what, Brian? Why don't we try to figure out some way to simulate that Alabama-Arizona game? Maybe we'll call some video guy or something, and then you and I can bet a steak dinner. I'll lay you whatever amount you want. It doesn't matter. You're not going to score.
All right.
We'll be back. Thanks for listening, everybody. Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez, 5th Street Sports, SB Nation Sports Radio. Take care.
See you guys.
All right, guys, you're clear. Have a good show.
USA Radio News.
It's been 3 days since Florence began pounding North